was thinking about New Year's resolutions because we're a couple of weeks into January now, and personally, I don't think it matters a jot whether you've got MS or you haven't got MS when it comes to doing this kind of thing. Have you made any MS New Year's resolutions?
I always struggle with making New Year's resolutions because I think a lot of us get so gung ho on making over expectations for ourselves to have these New Year's resolutions. And then we are all gung ho about them and we're consistent for a couple of weeks. And then it starts to kind of dwindle and then they fly out the window. So I think me personally, I like to set goals and set like time limits within those goals. But I think there's a lot of pressure for, personal expectations of setting up these, daunting expectations of New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, it's this thing, isn't it? It's the whole almost societal thing about it's the new year, you must make a resolution. And in
Right.
some ways, I think that can be worse because people feel the pressure that they,
Exactly.
like you said, make a goal, sod when you start that goal. And also with MS, if I was going to put an MS spin on it, be kind to yourself because sometimes
Yes.
crap happens and it's not because you're being lazy that all of a sudden that goal seems like you're not going to hit it, and I'm guilty of the most of trying to hit goals when maybe I should take my foot off the gas a bit.
Right. And give ourselves grace. I think you hit the nail on the head, Dom, with saying that there's a lot of pressure involved. And you yourself have lived with multiple sclerosis for a really long time, many years. Do you see any changes in how you start your new year since your diagnosis with MS?
I feel very old because this was notable New Year's Eve because I actually stayed up to midnight because, the last
Oh,
10 years, I've usually gone and just gone to bed, like what am I? No one gives you a medal for staying up to midnight, and singing the New Year.
exactly.
So frankly, if there was money involved, I might change my view. But other than that, I mean, MS is just part of our lives now. It's part of yours for 3 years. It's part of mine for more than half my life, I worked out. All I would say to you is you think about it every 2 seconds in the first few years. Yeah. I can go
Right.
like 15 minutes without thinking about it. When you make your resolution in your head or set a goal or whatever, however you phrase it, do you share that with somebody else, whether it's your partner or your friends or your doctor or what, almost to stick yourself to it? You know what I mean? You think if I've told enough
Yeah.
other people, I
Oh, that's a
can't.
great question. That's such a great question, Dom. And I kind of hoard it to myself. I don't really share. I think
Me too.
I'll share a little bit with my husband just so he has an idea of, for instance, right now I'm really into this antiquing thing because it's a good low energy. I can go at my own pace, So he's wondering, why is my wife accumulating so many antiques at our house right now? So that's one of my New Year's resolutions, is to make my home more creative and more, accessible, as far as personality wise, but also accessible in terms of my disability, and sort of making my house a little bit more easy to get around or to access
Sure.
things. Like my pots and pans are on this bottom shelf, and that just does not work for me. So making little changes when necessary, I think, is very helpful.
I've got to describe, I don't know if it's a guy thing, but what you describe is my idea of a punishment or hell or, yeah. You and I have a view on New Year's resolutions, and that's that the new year ain't that important for resolutions. Make goals that you feel you can stick to and that you can work towards. Would that be fair? Yeah.
Absolutely.
By the way, guys, if you're interested in more content like this, if you want to see more of Britt, if you want to see more of many of us, subscribe to Lived Health and just click the button, ring the bell, do all those good things. You know how it works now.